we'll go ahead and get started now. My name is Kim Everett, and I'm the Director of Client Success at Zuri Group. And joining me today is Jordan Rhodes. Jordan, you want to give a quick intro of yourself?
Yeah, I'd love to. I am one of the client success managers here at Zuri Group. Work mainly in support and in a WordPress management. And we're excited to share some of the things that we've been working on for Zen.
So, as most of you know, Zuri Group is a full services consulting and professional services company. So we're going to start here just with a quick overview of the company, and then we will move into the meat of the program here. So we are here to help you leverage your technology. That's all we do. We work specifically and exclusively with nonprofits to help you leverage your technology, systems, any platform to build better relationships with your constituents. We are relationship driven. We really try to serve as an extension of your team. So we've actually grown our support staff from 3 to 5 full-time support staff, including, and that's actually not including all our developers as well as client success managers. So we have 7 total Engaging Networks accredited support techs as well as developers. And we also have 4 Salesforce certified admins in the company. So we work on all software platforms, not just Engaging Networks and Salesforce, but all of the Blackbaud suite of products, Blackbaud CRM, Luminate Online, Razor's Edge, any of the nonprofit specific software platforms. So moving on to our history with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So as most of you know, we have been around for over 10 years, and pretty much entirely, Zuri Group's entire existence, we have had a relationship with Big Brothers Big Sisters and done some technology consulting along the way. About 5 years ago, when Blackbaud announced that they were sunsetting the Sphere product, we got together with the national office and a software partner called Engaging Networks, as I'm sure most of you are familiar with, and put together the Zen packages. So Zen stands for Zuri and Engaging Networks. And those packages were meant to replace all the functionality on the Sphere platform. So they include, the website and the Engaging Networks software. So we currently have 65 or 66, I think, affiliates on the Zen platform. And in addition to that, we also provide custom solutions for various affiliates as needed. So for example, Salesforce integrations, reporting customizations, and kind of anything else you can think of, event customizations, anything you need surrounding your fundraising or donor management efforts. Okay, so today's agenda is to go through I'll do a quick overview of the Zen platform, and then we're really going to spend much more time diving into what's new. So the new plugins, our new event templates that focus on virtual events, as that is, now kind of the trend that doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. And then we're also going to discuss the new offerings surrounding digital wallets. So quickly starting with the Zen packages. So most of you are existing clients, and so this is old news for you, but I just wanted to emphasize, making sure that you're taking advantage of all the features and functionality. Because the Engaging Networks platform is a robust tool and has lots of functionality. And, sometimes people don't even realize that they already have that, thing they need in their existing software. And so they go buy some other software to do it. So just want to make sure everyone on this call knows that we have 3 packages available. And in the basic package, that includes the Engaging Networks software. So that's Engaging Networks is an online donor engagement portal, or an eCRM, and it includes donation pages and kind of any and all transaction processing. So, whether you need a data capture form, a newsletter sign up, a manage your subscriptions page, an events template, either registration ticketed type events or the peer-to-peer event templates like Bowl for Kids' Sake, broadcast email tool, and the donor database that has, some CRM functionality, but it's not a full-blown CRM like Salesforce or Razor's Edge. And then, so some affiliates are taking advantage of just the Engaging Networks software functionality. And then we also have some affiliates that are just doing the WordPress website. So that's the basic 2 package. So that's those, nationally branded website templates, including hosting. So we host the website as well as support it and did all the design and template work that's available for you. And then the majority of the affiliates are taking advantage of the Plus package, which is both. That also includes that Zuri Group is your one-stop shop for support, whether you have a question about Engaging Networks, donation pages or event templates or whatnot, or your WordPress website. Zuri Group is that one-stop shop for any of your support questions. And the other thing I wanted to mention, so one thing I wanted to make sure is that people understand all the functionality available on the software platform, but also all the functionality available on your WordPress website. So, for example, we have some people who've been on this, on our platform for 4 or 5 years, and we did a refresh. The general rule of thumb for websites is that you should be refreshing or redesigning them every 2 to 3 years to keep it fresh. And with the national office doing the rebranding, that was basically 2 years ago. So, it may be time for people to take a look at their websites and give them a little, what I like to call a zhuzh. So maybe the websites need a little zhuzhing. Maybe they don't need a full redesign. Maybe they don't need a full, overhaul, but maybe just some new content, new design elements, something to make them, new and interesting and fresh and kind of keep up with latest and greatest. So that being said, I wanted to just quickly show you a couple of examples of things that you could do that are existing functionality within the websites. And then I'm going to pass it over to Jordan to talk about all the new plugins available. So, maybe you aren't taking advantage of this Cassius block, or maybe you would like to embed a video on your page. Here's an example of, leveraging the button functionality and some additional graphics that this affiliate has created. Or maybe you want to take advantage of the social media embedded, you can embed your social media feeds on a page. You can also embed your posts, so, blog posts, news stories, anything like that can be pulled into a page. So just a couple, these are existing design elements that, that are currently available to you that maybe you want to take a look at your website and with a critical eye and see if you want to add a few new things, or even just updating content is huge. When it comes to search engine optimization, content is king. And in general, we see that our affiliate websites don't have as much content as maybe they should for SEO reasons. So that's something to consider. We have some kind of fun new designs of link card elements. Here's another example of blogs being pulled in. Here's a customized section here with a different photo. You can give us an existing, one of your kids' photos to pop into this, what we call the Cassius block, because that was the original child. You can put a header video in your, in this header section if you want. You can include any graphics you have on the page for events coming up. Here's another example of a nice use of these link cards. They've got a, sort of a dynamic, engaging component to them. Here's an example of using these stat circles that they load. When you load the page, the stat circles go and load up. They don't make that noise. And so, and then, like, for example, the national office just redid their homepage. Just give it, just a little zhuzh. And this is actually where we came out. This header here is one of our the new gallery slider element, which Jordan's going to cover in more detail. But everything else on this page is existing elements that we just reorganized, made it a little cleaner. Here's, another example of pulling posts into a page. So I would just really encourage you to look through all these. So now I'm in the back end of the site here and just pointing out that we have all these pre-designed elements across the bottom here. And you can scroll a little bit further over to the right to see the rest of them. And just, maybe create a test page on your site and drag in a few elements and play with them and see if you might have something new you want to try, or, play around with the background color, or, that sort of thing. To keep those websites refreshed and keep your search engine optimization high, and just sort of keeping up with the times there. So, okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now and turn it over to Jordan. And he's going to go through the plugins.
All right, so first things first, some of these plugins, some of you may actually already be using. And if that's the case, that's, you're kind of grandfathered into those, but we've updated them a little bit to make them a little more functional and custom for Big Brothers Big Sisters affiliates. The first one is the Be a Big quiz. Originally, this was made by or designed with Cedar Rapids in mind, and it's actually a very simple element. It's this guy right here, and it's very elegant, and it asks, hey, are you questioning whether or not you should become a big? Well, take this quiz real quick and find out. And the buttons are, they're hovering dynamic. You can answer the questions, and if they say yes or no to these questions, it will pop up with an inquiry here, which, opening up a new tab, takes you to sign up to be a big. So just a really simple thing to add to your Be a Big page to just to help someone understand what they're signing up for, maybe help them, give them that little push to actually sign up. The next one, which we did announce at the beginning of this year with COVID, was the virtual bowling. And I'm sure a lot of you probably saw this as well, where one affiliate took this on. They actually designed it. They added the logos. We helped them like customize it on their page, so it looked really nice and functioned really well. And that's what it is. It's just a very nice virtual bowling game, and it's very simple to use. You can use just your mouse. You can move your guy around, click, click, click. I'm not going to get a strike. and yeah, so it's just a really, really great way if you like your big bowl for kids' sake events. If you want to try to incorporate a virtual bowling, a really, really great alternative instead of, because some people don't have like a Wii or a Wii U where they can bowl using their their consoles. This is a really nice example, and this does work on mobile as well. The next one is our D-Flip. So this takes a PDF, allows you to embed it on your page, but not only does it embed on your page, it actually creates it as like almost like a handbook or a manual style page. So you can see here, it's a very like I have it in full screen right now. It's very large, easy to read, and the next page you have like a little, there's a page flip animation, a page flip noise, and it kind of almost makes it feel like a newsletter, a newspaper. And you know, every now and again the pages, it'll take a second to load, but it is still very very fun, you know, kind of a new way to add PDFs to your website. We've seen a couple of people use this to create a page on their site that is it's password protected, but it's like a manual handbook for new employees, and they can just send them this page, give them the password, and then they can go through the handbook online instead of handing out this 40-page, you know, document. The next one, which you saw on the BBBS national site, is the master slider plugin. This one, it is so customizable. These are just a few of the potential sliders that we decided to highlight, mainly because of them are are automated for posts and pages. So you can you don't have to do any coding or anything like that. All you have to do is create the slider and then say that you want it to pull in these posts from this category in your WordPress site, and it will automatically create your slider, and then you can add that to your page, much like the post embed that Kim was showing that has it in the little icons. So you see here, this one is just, it's a full width slider. We only have a couple of images on here, but you can kind of see how it interacts with the page. The next one is a carousel. It's not automated for posts or pages, but it's got a really nice 3D style. You can customize the links and text and more. Very easy to create. These ones are, this one is a manual slider. So each slide you have to add the image, add the link, add the text, but it's really not difficult to do. This one here, it's just another take on that. Instead of it being 3D, it kind of brings the middle one to the forefront. The next one is automated for custom sliders. It pulls in this, and this is actually something that was customized by our team. Very nice slide with the gray background here. You can add a lot more text if you'd like, and smaller image. You can have the image overlay behind this if you want. And then this next one is also automatically for posts and pages. I see this one being a nice feature for like page. It's overly dominant, and the slides are really easy, and they link straight to your post or your page, whichever one you're deciding to use. The next one is the WP front notification bar. This notification bar we used and we implemented for a lot of affiliates during COVID to help them provide a response, or their response on COVID-19, and what they're doing to try to keep everyone still connected, but you know, in the safest way possible. This also can be used for so much more than a you know, an urgent response. It can be used for you know, essentially like a pop-up. If you want to create a banner at the top of your page for an event that you're doing, or for, you know, a new video that you've posted on YouTube that you want people to go see, very easy to customize this notification bar so that you can direct supporters from your page to either another page or another event or video that you'd like to show. The next one is our FAQ accordion plugin. This accordion plugin, we actually, it is already an element within the composer, but what we did is we added some custom CSS to this for for aesthetics and for usability. And obviously what all this is it's just you have your questions here and you can expand them to view the answers. Very simple, it's very clean in my opinion. We also have this one, is from I believe Matchforce, and it's the same thing. The custom CSS is easily addable, and we can help support you in, you know, what questions you would like to have here, you know, and how to add them. So there's no stumbling around with this element whatsoever. The next one is our pop-up maker. A lot of you have already taken advantage of this, but this pop-up can show up as soon as somebody new comes to your site. And the cookies can be adjusted whether you want it to show up every single time somebody comes to your site, or if it's like once a day, once a week. That way you're not flooding somebody with a pop-up. But it's a really great way. It's kind of the same thing as like a notification bar, but it more brings the focus of what of it being, you know, always at the top of your page. This will show up as soon as somebody comes to your website, and you can direct them to you. Like in this case, you know, Nordstrom Rack, they are partnering with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America to help them raise funds. And it's a very easy thing. It's a very easy to close out, and they can continue through your page. But it's a very nice way to present your event or your donation page or whatever you'd like to show. The next one is the events calendar. And this one is actually kind of it's been there for a while, but nobody really utilizes it. I would just kind of like to highlight this one a little bit, because you can actually design events on your website to show your bigs and your littles, what's going around, and of course your supporters. You can see in a list view, you can see it in the month view, where it shows the entire month of events on one page. Now, of course, I created this as a test, so you're only seeing one event, right? But this it's a really simple way to show an event that's coming up, or even if it's not an event, but just something that you would like to show somebody. Hey, we're having, you know, we're doing a donation on this day. You know, you can post this on here and then give people the information. Obviously this didn't cost any money. I just put it in there because I thought it would be a nice feature. So if you have a paid event, you can present them ahead of time. And if you click into this event, oh my goodness, I'm sorry about that. I thought I fixed this. There's a little CSS that I have to update, but you can see the date, the time, cost, and then the website. And it actually gives you the ability to do a Google Calendar export or an iCal export. So they can add it to their calendars. Excuse me for a second. All right, sorry about that. And then last but not least is the Smush Optimizer. This one is also one of our latest entries, as it was requested by an affiliate to help them with their SEO. Now with this, we can optimize all of your images that you've uploaded on your site to help minimize the amount of load time that someone has when they come to your website. Now, it doesn't affect the quality of your image at all, but it does reduce it. Like in this example, you know, it shows 647 kilobytes down to 214 kilobytes. 647 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you are talking about somebody opening it, let's say on mobile, or you have 10 of these on one web page, it tends to add up a lot, and your web page speed will slow rapidly. And so what this is allowing us to do is to help the affiliates boost their page speeds as uninvasive as possible. The the other way we were talking about is a complete redesign because of certain CSS overrides that we have, but this is a potential workaround without doing the website. That is all of the newest plugins and their latest features that we have. Does anybody have any questions regarding any of these?
Thanks, Jordan. Okay, I am browsing the questions in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, please post them into the chat. We do have one question, and it's back on the Be a Big quiz. And the question is, what happens if someone answers no to some or all of the questions? And I can actually answer that if you'd like.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So that is configurable. You can decide how many yes answers you want to, identify. Like if they say yes to 4, then they would be a good big. And if they say, yes to only 3, then at the end you can, it's dynamic. So you can either say, yes, you'd make a great big. Here's a place to go to sign up, or, oh, here are some other ways to interact with us. Like maybe it's not right for you. That's okay. We have other options. And so you can then direct them to, either a donation page or other volunteer opportunities or something like that.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And then let's see. We have one other question. Are the plugins free?
We wanted to try to make them as affordable as possible. Unfortunately, we did spend a lot of time designing these and customizing them for Big Brothers Big Sisters, so we can't offer them for free, but we do have plugin offers that are a la carte. So if you want to just pay for one of these plugins instead of buying a subscription package for all, we do have that option. We also have a what I consider like the premium package of these, which is a full subscription, all the plugins and support and customization that you want, that is basically a standard price for annual and a setup fee. And I can get that up real quick.
Yeah, and if people have questions or want to learn more about the pricing, we do have a pricing sheet. And as Jordan said, you can either just buy, the 1 or 2 that you're interested in, or if you like a lot of them and want to utilize a lot of them, you can buy the whole package at a discounted rate. And so you can also email support@zurigroup.com to get that pricing info. Switching gears from plugins, let's talk about virtual events. And I'm not in the right window. There we go. Okay. I was like, and let me get in the right place. Okay, so in addition to the new plugins, we've come out with some virtual event templates that can be either standalone or bolted on into your Bowl for Kids' Sake or any other peer-to-peer event page. So I just kind of wanted to talk through a couple of the elements of these virtual events and what makes them kind of cool and worth taking a look at. So first of all, you can just have a standalone. So if you have any kind of virtual event, a gala, a bowling event, a walkathon, do anything you want-a-thon, which I've seen. I think those are actually kind of successful these days. Like just do something for kids' sake. You can then either put in so this is an embedded link or an embedded feed to your YouTube channel. So it would require you setting up a YouTube channel if you don't have one already, but it's not terribly complex and I believe it's free. And then you can embed pre-recorded videos in here, but then you can also on the day of the event show your live video feed of the event. So this can be kind of people's one-stop shop for fundraising, donating, and watching the event. And then you can also, we don't have it here because I don't have a live event up right now, but you can also put a chat, like a live chat during the live event beside the video. So you kind of have the, the video content streaming at the same time as people are commenting, and, that can make it really interactive and fun. Some other elements of the virtual event site are this, kind of just a different way. We typically put a thermometer across the top of the Bowl for Kids' Sake peer-to-peer sites, but so this is just a different way to show, both donors and total giving amounts. So this kind of, leaderboard measuring your overall event success. You can put any kind of text in here, and you can put more text in here. This section down here, these side-by-side elements are widgets from the peer-to-peer site. So you can put any widgets you want in here. And in this case, we're showing a donor role and then embedding a donation widget. So this would be like a general donation to the event site. Also wanted to point out that you can link to register, or you could, choose not to allow just general, like if you have an event that you are doing teams and individual fundraisers, you can link to, you can put a donate button in here to link to people's teams or event pages, fundraising pages, excuse me. And then, you can add any content you want on these pages. You can highlight your sponsors. We have another one where people have embedded their blog posts for all the articles leading up to the event. And then my personal favorite, you've got this cool functionality where once you've scrolled down below the video, a little, sort of thumbnail size image of the video shows up on the bottom of the screen. So people are kind of always connected to that content, that streaming content. So that's a standalone one. And you can also put the video on people's team or individual fundraising pages. So that's here, where now this is, sort of that same streaming content, but within a fundraising page. And this happens to be a team page. And then, you can see the leaderboard here is still up. And now this donation form is actually, donating to that team page. So kind of just a different, slightly different organization of the same content, but it's on someone's individual fundraising page or individual team page. And again, you've got that little YouTube streaming content thumbnail at the bottom. The other thing you can do is if you like your current Bowl for Kids' Sake or other peer-to-peer event template, and you just want to add a virtual event page to your site, you can put it in here, and you just add it as a menu item and a separate page within your existing site. And then same kind of thing. You can choose put the video embed here, choose which widgets you want, and have people, give them the availability to link over to the registration. And then all the other functionality on the site is the same. They can donate to individuals or teams over here. You can decide whether or not you want this general donation on the page, and this has the regular thermometer progress bar. So there's some ability, basically the beauty of the Engaging Networks platform is that it's highly customizable. So this was sort of our templated version that we wanted to showcase to affiliates, so that give you some ideas of what you can do with the site. It's not limited to these options, but these templates, if you'd like to take advantage of the virtual event, either the standalone site or embedding a template in your existing site, just contact us through support. This is something that is included in your Zen packages. So there's no, if you want to take advantage of these templates, there's no extra charge to add them to your site or your pages. Okay, and I'm going to pause there and check the chat and the questions. And it looks like we have a question. So let me pop this out. Oh yes, will this presentation be emailed to us? I'd like to be able to show the functionalities to other staff. Yeah, much better than me trying to explain the concepts. I hear ya. Sometimes things get lost in the translation and we throw around a lot of technical terms that you may or may not remember. So yes, this presentation will be available. I think what we're going to do is we're going to send out a copy of the whole thing so you can, fast forward to the sections you're interested in as needed. And then I think we're also going to chop it up into 3 different sections and post it in our knowledge base, sort of one for the plugins, one for the virtual event, and one for the mobile payments. So, great question. Okay, and it looks like I don't see any other questions. So then I will move on to the mobile payments, digital wallets. Okay, so this is fun. I'm actually really excited about this one. Get my screen show. This one is easier to show screenshots than it is to live demo because of all the different variables of when and where certain types of payments show up. So, so we're back to the static screen here, but mainly so kind of the overview of this is right now on your Engaging Networks donation pages, you typically have, the ability to process payments through credit cards, and then some people are taking advantage of PayPal as well. What we now have available is Google Pay, Apple Pay, and PayPal OneTouch, which I'll explain the difference between regular PayPal and PayPal OneTouch in a moment. But basically, these digital wallets are they're actually mobile and desktop. So depending on what where a person has set up an account. So for example, I have an iPhone and I set up Apple Pay in my iPhone by connecting a credit card into my Apple Pay account and going through some setup steps. So now there's actually 2 layers of security. When I pay with Apple Pay, it's actually more secure than paying with a credit card because there's 2 layers of security involved. And there's my Apple Pay account security, and then there's the credit card encryption. And so they're also easier, right? So we're kind of in this one-click. Amazon has now trained the world to want one-click functionality. And so, instead of having to fill in all of my contact information and all of my credit card information, now I just go click, Apple Pay, click. Maybe I put my email address in, maybe I don't have to, click, and done. And so it's so much faster. So you get higher conversion rates because, the general rule of online fundraising is, the less fields for every field, we kind of jokingly say for every field you want to add to your form, you reduce your conversion rate by 10%. So you can imagine that if you're removing all of those fields, all those contact fields and all those credit card fields from your form, you're increasing your conversion rates by that many percent. PayPal claims it's up to 82% better. But in any case, so these digital wallets need to be added to your account, and we'll talk a little bit about that, what that looks like for each one. Okay, so let's start with Apple Pay. Okay, so Apple Pay, so first of all, Engaging Networks does not bundle the payment processing provider with their account. So they have 14 different payment processors that they are integrated with, and they all have different features and functionality and different pricing and rates, and some of that can be a little bit confusing. But basically, right now, Apple Pay is available with either Vantiv or Stripe. And if you already have either one of those payment gateways, you don't have to add a new one. If you have something else, you would then need to add these payment. So the tricky part with Vantiv is that it has to be your primary gateway in order to offer Apple Pay. But most recently, Engaging Networks introduced that Stripe could be added as a secondary gateway, and you can just use it for Apple Pay or Google Pay. So, for example, if you have PayPal, or if you have PaySafe or iAts, you could add Stripe, or even if you have Vantiv, you can add Stripe as a secondary gateway to process Apple Pay and Google Pay. You could also switch to Stripe if you wanted to for all your processing, including your credit cards. So both of those are options. And then we would reorganize your donation page. So currently our donation pages flow as, amount first, then contact info, and then payment type. But we would reorganize your donation pages so that payment is next, and then people would have the option to choose credit cards or whatever mobile payment or whatever digital wallet is available within that browser or operating system. So for example, if I'm on a MacBook Pro using Safari, or I'm on my iPhone or iPad, I'm going to see this Apple Pay button as an option. And then, I would click Apple Pay, click my donation about, click Apple Pay, and then submit, and then you're done. So it's that fast with these mobile wallets. One thing to note about them is that they are available only for one-time donations. So if someone had chosen monthly first here, and then chosen their dollar amount, the button would disappear because it's not one of the supported features. And in fact, there's some research that shows that that's how people are using these mobile wallets or these digital wallets anyway. So we don't think that limits you too much. When people are doing monthly donations, they are typically doing it by credit card or debit. And I missed that in my original intro. The bank cards or debit cards or EFT are also available currently on your donation pages. You just have to hook it up if it's supported by your payment gateway provider, which most of them support it, and you just have to hook it up as an option. Okay, so moving on to Google Pay. Okay, so Google Pay is only available with Stripe. So again, you would need to add Stripe as a secondary payment gateway, or switch to Stripe for all your credit card processing too. It does have that same one-click payment functionality. So if someone is looking at your donation form either in Chrome or on an Android phone or an Android tablet, and they have a Google Pay account set up, they will see this button and be able to just click that amount and process the payment. And then PayPal OneTouch. So now PayPal OneTouch, okay, so the difference between that and regular PayPal is that what's currently available is you can add PayPal as a secondary payment type on your donation pages, and when they choose that as a payment option, it takes them off your donation page. They have to sign into their PayPal account and process the transaction, put in some more information and then submit it, and then it goes kind of routes back to your Engaging Networks donation page. With PayPal OneTouch, they don't have to log in or put in any of that additional information. So they just click that PayPal button, and it essentially asks them, "Are you sure?" And you say yes, and you click submit. And this one is a little bit more universally available in all browsers and all desktops and all phones because it's PayPal. They're not, limited to their operating system. I also wanted to make one note about Venmo because people have asked, is Venmo going to be available on donation pages? So as of today, Venmo is not available. So each of these solutions requires engaging networks to build an integration between their software and the payment gateway provider in order to offer these. And so they kind of pick and choose what's going to be, most relevant or most popular to add next. So I don't have any timeline on when they might be adding new digital wallets. But Venmo was purchased by PayPal. And so I just think logically, like if anything was going to be available soon, it might be Venmo just because it might be, PayPal might just make it available when you click through on PayPal OneTouch or something. So anyway, that may or may not be coming soon, but it is not available yet. So if you did want to give people the option to pay by Venmo, you would want to direct them to find you. If you would have to set up your company with a Venmo account, your organization with a Venmo account, and then you would direct them to your Venmo account. There's also a little like scanner QR code thing you can do, but that's outside the scope of this webinar. So I'll stop there. If you have questions about how to, maybe advertise that you accept Venmo, email us at support and we can help you out with that. Okay, so that was my last slide, and that's good because we only have a couple minutes left. Do we have any other questions? I am going to look in the question screen. I don't see anything. Okay, so if you...
I would just like to point out real quick, I'm so sorry, Kim. I would just like to point out that while you were talking about all of the new payment types for the for mobile pay and adding Stripe as a gateway, engaging networks allows you to have multiple gateways on your donation page, so you don't have to worry about switching over completely to another gateway if you're using Vantiv, but you want Google Pay, so you have to add Stripe. You don't have to completely switch everything over. All you have to do is just add a new Stripe account to your engaging networks platform, and then that will allow us to add Apple Pay and Google Pay to your donation pages.
Excellent. Yes, that's a great clarification. Thank you. And and I also forgot, that reminded me, I forgot to mention pricing. So the new mobile wallet options are they are an extra charge to add those because we have to do a pretty significant amount of work, redesigning and reorganizing the page and setting up the secondary payment gateways and all that good stuff. But we are running a special right now that adding any or all three of these digital wallets to your donation page and doing all the work to reorganize them would be a $500 setup fee, and then adding $100 a year to your annual support, just for the additional complexity of supporting the project. So let us know. You can email. So anything, if you're interested in any of these things or finding out more about any of them, or you want to set up a call to talk through your options and what would be best for you, just contact us through either the support email address, or you can call us at our dedicated Zen line, and we'd be happy to help get you going on any of these things. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. We'll wrap it up here, and the recording will be sent out shortly. And otherwise, thank you. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy.
We do have a couple questions.
Oh, we do have more questions. Okay, great. Let's get them.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Just a couple in the question center.
Okay. Okay, procedure for how to add those to our current donation page. We currently use Stripe. Yes, so Zuri Group will need to do that with you and for you because it is fairly complex. So Veronica, if you already have Stripe and you want to add these mobile wallets, just contact support and we can help get that configured for you. And there may, I don't know this for sure off the top of my head, but you may or may not have to enable additional functionality in your Stripe account, but may already just be available. So that'll be something we'll help dive into and figure out. And then we had a question from Christina. Sorry if you already said this, but do you have to set up a payment processor if you just went with PayPal? So if you already have a PayPal Payments Pro or Payflow Pro account type, then I think you can add the PayPal OneTouch. So that is actually the payment processor type you need for PayPal OneTouch. Let me go back here. I did. Yeah, there it is. Payments Pro or Payflow Pro. So if you just have PayPal as a secondary payment type on top of something else, you would need to upgrade. So the PayPal Express checkout is the account type that you need if you just want to link off of your donation page into people signing into their PayPal account. And if you want to do this PayPal OneTouch, you actually need to upgrade to a Payments Pro or Payflow Pro account. I know that's all very confusing. Sorry, but we'll help you navigate the confusion. Okay, and let's see. Do you have pricing? Yes. So we will send. So with the recording of this webinar, we'll also send links to all the pricing, including the pricing for we don't necessarily have fixed pricing for the payment gateway providers themselves. That's negotiated between you and them. So we'll send you links to their pricing sheets, and there is nonprofit pricing for both Stripe and PayPal. So they do offer some discounted nonprofit specific pricing. And we'll send you information. What the information we have on that, we will send along with the recording. Okay, great. Thanks, Jordan, for alerting me to these questions. And thanks everyone again for your time. Have a great day and stay safe and healthy out there.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.